Hello, welcome to another video. Got some things to talk about. Now, for a while, I was really only hooked on Battle Royale. Battle Royale was just sold for me, and I loved it. And I played Blackout and then Warzone for its lifespan. But a new genre has took my fancy. It's got me wanting more of it, even more than Battle Royale on occasion. A genre that kind of took me by surprise. I'd never really played it on console, and now we've got some options of some good games in this genre, and that is the extraction looter genre. So for me, it's been bye bye Warzone and hello Arc Raiders. Now, Arc Raiders is a superb looter shooter, extraction shooter. I've really loved it, but it wasn't my first. My first actually came with Call of Duty, surprisingly. If anyone can rewind the clocks back when Warzone 2 dropped, Warzone 2 dropped with a new mode called DMZ. Now, I wasn't fully sold on this. I'd heard about extraction shooters, but playing on console and not PC, you were very limited to what was available. Escape from Tarkov was one that I've always wanted to play, but I've not got a PC. If you've got a PC and your access to Steam and all those kind of things, you've probably got really good access to some really good extraction shooter, looter shooter games. But on console, you're very limited. And we were quite limited for some time. And then obviously Warzone 2 dropped, and they dropped with it DMZ. Now, I'd heard about DMZ. I'd heard it was an extraction shooter. Well, wasn't entirely sold on it, and in all honesty, didn't play it for some time. I think when Warzone 2 dropped, I think I played Battle Royale for the first few months at least, not even thinking twice about DMZ. But as time went on and Warzone kind of became, its usual staleness and no new content and the same old of cheats and stuff, I decided to jump into DMZ and give it a go. Now, this was DMZ in its beta, and it said beta throughout. I thought it was going to change to a full development of DMZ, but back then, no, it was just beta, collecting feedback. But for beta, it was absolutely superb. Now, unfortunately, I've got no gameplay in the background and thought I'd just play Arc Raiders, because Arc Raiders on its own is a really solid extraction shooter. I've loved it. I'm still playing it. I still jump in, and I'm currently completing the next expedition. But DMZ kind of stole the spotlight for me, and I was very surprised. I played with quite a few people on DMZ. Mostly my mate Tech Nation, Grant would join us, Codwasher would join us. But eventually we all moved from Warzone to DMZ because we realised it was actually something special. Now, it was a beta, so it was rough around the edges, and I kind of hope going into the DMZ that's coming out with Modern Warfare 4, this is not a beta, this is their kind of full game of DMZ. So this is taking all that feedback and all them information from the DMZ beta, everything the kind of players talked about and mentioned online, or streamers streamed about, all that kind of stuff. Hopefully they've took the bad and the good, and they're going to make it into a fully fledged, really good DMZ game. Now, time will tell. At the end of the day, the risk of a new Call of Duty is the risk of having a game full of cheats. Cheats are never going to go away. Unfortunately, cheating is an industry like everything else. It makes money, so it's never going to disappear. And these cheaters are behind the scenes, working always on technology that works around the anti-cheat. Yes, I'm not looking forward to the fact that all the streamers are selling the game and they're not even mentioning cheats, because there's nothing they can really do about it. And plus, if you're sponsored or contracted by Call of Duty, you're not really going to badmouth it. Oh yeah, you've got to sell the game, and that's what they do. I want to play DMZ, despite some of the negative things like cheaters and yes, getting back into Call of Duty. I haven't played Call of Duty for a long time. Been playing Battlefield 6 and Arc Raiders. I went off Call of Duty, and I was saying about over a year ago, someone said, "Would you go back to Call of Duty?" And I said the only thing that would bring me back if they would do another DMZ, and I didn't think they would. Well, they are, and it's really exciting. I thought in this video that I would just go over some of the things that stuck out to me while I played DMZ for the time it was out. I kind of casually dipped in the beginning, but after a while, I was playing more DMZ than I was the Battle Royale because I just got hooked. It'd be really interesting to see the changes that they've actually made. Got a brand new game, brand new engine. It's not even on old gen; it's new gen only. Lots of new things coming. I'm really hoping there's not a massive problem with cheats and stuff, but we're gonna have to see when the game comes out. And obviously June 7th, I think, is going to be our first official look at DMZ. They're going to start kind of posting about it. I've already decided I'm going to buy the next Call of Duty. Unfortunately, the biggest shadow at the moment is going to be the next GTA game, GTA 6. I'm not getting that because I made a promise to my wife that I wouldn't. She doesn't like the game, doesn't agree with it. She has her reasons, and as I'm a very dedicated husband to support my wife, I will continue to support my wife by not getting Grand Theft Auto. She doesn't want it in the house. That is my choice. That is our choice as a family. So I won't be getting GTA 6. I played a few GTAs, and for me, yeah, they're good games, but I'd rather play. I'm actually into the genre of extraction shooters and even battle royales and even Battlefield 6 and its big maps. Let's just jump back onto DMZ. So DMZ released with Warzone 2. The great thing about DMZ, it actually ran across 5 maps. I don't know how many people know this. Obviously, Al Mazrah was the main map. But then there was Ashika Island, there was Vondel, there was the Koshi Complex and Building 21. Now, DMZ ran through all these maps. I'm just going to say, Ashika Island made a great DMZ map, but it did not make a great Resurgence map. I actually didn't like it as Resurgence. It definitely was well suited for DMZ, but I think they just threw it in the Resurgence pool anyway. But yeah, and one thing, I think this is one thing I really want to see. And one thing that happened in DMZ, there were particular missions that kind of made you visit these maps to complete the missions. Like, I remember on Al Mazrah, you had to collect a file from the wreckage of a helicopter, and then you had to go to Ashika Island, and then you had to go somewhere else. I'd love to see more of this. Now, when it comes to maps for the new DMZ coming, I'm not sure if it's just going to be based on one map or multiple. I really hope it's multiple because having 5 maps that ran through that DMZ beta was absolutely superb. The Koshi Complex was hardcore if you had a mission in there. Building 21 as well. Al Mazrah was, for me was a great map. I never disliked it. I thought Al Mazrah was superb. Ashika as a DMZ map was superb. Vondel wasn't really a favourite of mine. I actually preferred Vondel as a Resurgence map. But, some missions made you still go to Vondel. I'm really hoping going forward that with the new DMZ, I'm about to burp, with the new DMZ, that they have multiple maps. I hope it's just not stuck to one, because I think having a really tough mission that requires you to visit all the other maps is absolutely brilliant, and you can't achieve that mission without going there. And it kind of forces people out of their comfort zone. I think I stuck on Al Mazrah quite a lot, but I knew there were a couple of missions that were going to force me into other maps, so I think that should happen. Another thing was the AI, and DMZ obviously had AI bots that would fight you as well as real players. I'm really hoping that they kind of tidied them AI bots up because they were a bit lame. They didn't really work very well. They didn't really miss either. They kind of locked onto you when they shot. I'm kind of hoping that's not the case. But yeah, one thing I'd like is better AI to fight against. Another thing that I loved was the weapons case. There was a weapons case on the map that was highlighted. And when you picked up that weapons case, it followed your character. So you were kind of like a live beacon in the middle of the map. And people knew that you had the weapons case. If you extracted the weapons case 10 times, you always got a specific item. And the item that I wanted was weapon case extraction number 10, which was a skin, like a gas mask skin. A hazmat, if I remember. You were like a hazmat guy skin. It was brilliant. And it really made me want to do the weapons case, but the weapons case was dangerous. I got killed with it. I killed people with it. I almost extracted out with it and got killed. I remember one time I actually hid in a bush by the chopper and killed some guy, grabbed it and jumped on the chopper and extracted with it. It brought massive diversity to the game, and I think it's absolutely key. I think for me it's a key element. They need to do something like that again. There's also like a hazard zone, a yellow hazard zone, and inside there was a boss as well that you could kill and get a good weapon skin off. I'd like them to bring that back, as well as that in the weapons case. I was thinking about the missions, and there were some kind of really bad missions. Like I remember one mission was like you had to take 90 gas masks to a bin, and it got very repetitive. I really hope they scrap like the really boring repetitive missions. I hope most of the missions have kind of really deep meaning, good challenges, and good interactions with players and bots. Um, I kind of feel like the boring missions should be kind of like side quests, more kind of low level missions. But I do really hope the missions are interesting and get you in some really good conflicts. I think one of my favourite missions was Room 403 key. You had to get the Room 403 key, which was really hard to find. Another thing that I liked as well, keys only had 3 uses and then they would break and they're unusable. I'd really like that to come back because when I finally found Room 403 key, it had 1 use on it. That means that me and my friends had 1 chance to complete this mission. If we got killed or we failed, we had have to look for the key again, and the key was really tough to find. And I remember that mission took you over a couple of maps as well. You had to go to Ashika Island to unlock the door to get this manifest, and you had to take it somewhere else, and it was absolutely brilliant. I remember when I found Room 403 key on a dead body, I literally extracted straight away. And me, Tech Nation, and Codwasher really wanted to get this mission done. So we locked in and to get this mission done with really like secure comms. We communicated well. We avoided other enemy players on the map, and we managed to get the mission done. It's actually on my YouTube channel. It was quite to be one of my favourite missions that we did on the DMZ beta. I really hope the missions that they add kind of bring that intensity to the game, survival, and only having 1 use on a key was absolutely quality. It kind of made it more of a challenge because you didn't want to risk losing the key or failing the mission because finding the key was just a pain. Um, Another mission as well, and I think it's been mentioned by the streamers. There's a mission where you had to plant a beacon or a tracker on an extraction chopper that exited the map, but you couldn't call in the extraction chopper. It had to be called in by an enemy player or an enemy team. So you'd have to kind of hide nearby and wait for an extraction chopper to be called in. Now you could either speak to the team and risk them being nice and letting you do it or shooting you, or you could do what I did and what Tech Nation did is sometimes just throw loads of smoke, run in and plant the beacon and run and hope that you didn't die. The extraction choppers also on the top of that, as well as that mission, were a really good idea. How they were called in and how they extracted, and you could always wait for the extraction or the last extraction chopper on the map to have a really cool fight. As this gas expanded across the map, if you didn't get out, you were dead. It would expand, and as soon as it was over an extraction area, you wouldn't be able to call in the chopper again. And eventually, it would leave one last extraction zone on the map completely, and it was a fight for your life. Sometimes we got there were teams waiting. Sometimes we got to the chopper first, and we waited to see if a team would come, and the fights were just absolutely brilliant. So yeah, the extraction choppers, they need to be. I reckon they need to stay the same. They were perfect, and that mission to plant the beacon on the extraction chopper, that missions like that need to come back. I feel like there could be some maybe they could focus on some really high rewarded keys that you'd find that are very rare and can only unlock certain places, certain buildings or certain doors, and really give you a good loot. I kind of felt like sometimes finding rooms that were locked, you didn't really get great loot out. Like on Arc Raiders that you can see here, if you look on your map, there's different areas that have higher loot zones and medium loot zones. I kind of like the risk and reward of knowing you're going into a high loot area, especially at a good key. So I'm hoping DMZ could follow suit on that. I think that would be great. Whether they will or not, I don't know. I remember the limited time events. Now, one year, I can't remember whenabouts this was in DMZ, they had a St. Patrick's Day event where they added loads of green and leprechauns and all sorts. But one thing they had, and they had it in the Battle Royale mode, but also in DMZ, they had a rainbow that would appear on the map, and at the end of it, there was loads of loot, gold. But one thing they had was a one-shot sniper. And some people could say, oh, that was unfair, whatever, but it was only a limited time event. It was only meant for some fun. Now, I managed to get hold of this sniper, and it was one shot anywhere on the body. It doesn't matter what you were wearing, what armor you had on, what level you had on, everything. It was one shot. Now, first of all, everyone was excited about this limited time mode. Everybody wanted to get to the end of the rainbow, and everybody wanted to get that sniper. So it was a mission to get it. I remember dying quite a lot, but one time my team got there, we got the sniper. They let me use it, and I managed to get some really good one-shot kills. I'm not against limited time modes. I know the game kind of wants to be serious and mission based, but sometimes a bit of fun doesn't hurt. So remembering that limited time mode and how fun that was, I'd really love to see that added. Um, Again, whether they do or not, who knows? We've not had a ton of information as of yet. It'd be interesting to see what the information's like as it starts to come out. But I'm really hoping that they can add just some different modes or just different variations, just to mix it up, just to make it fun, but not lose the core gameplay that is DMZ. They've talked about weather cycles. That's one thing about Al Mazrah and some of the other maps. Like you got a bit of fog and a bit of, but it would be nice to see a more realistic weather cycle system. Now, Arc Raiders is really good for weather cycles. You can do night modes, thunderstorms. There's been a tornado event. And sometimes when you go onto a map, it can be sunny one time. You can go back on that map and it can be pouring with rain and grey and cloudy. I think Arc Raiders have definitely nailed. They could probably do more if they wanted to. But I think they're kind of leading the way when it comes to how beautiful their maps are, graphically and playability. But also just the dynamic of going on to just damn, you go in and it's sunshine, and you just go back in and it's not a mode or nothing. It's not a limited time. It's not a night mode. It's just damn again, and the weather's different. And it happens quite a lot. The fact it just changes the game. I think Arc Raiders are doing a really good job of that, and I think DMZ kind of needs to follow suit. Obviously, DMZ and Call of Duty are going to want to compete with Arc Raiders for sure, because Arc Raiders is at the front of extraction shooters. There's all this talk that Arc Raiders is dying, it's losing its player base, people are getting bored. That's fine, but I think it's still got a healthy amount of people playing it, and I'm included in that. I actually still really enjoy going on, seeing what I can find, completing my expedition, getting some missions done. That's just what I enjoy doing. But if DMZ is going to want to run ahead, they're going to want to keep a close eye on what Arc do and try and follow suit to a certain degree. And maybe even, to my knowledge, I don't think DMZ even had a night mode. I'm pretty sure it didn't. I could be wrong, so please correct me. But I think a night mode on DMZ would be great. Some of the things that I really want them to keep, obviously there's going to be solos or teams. It didn't say quads, it said teams. I'm not sure if that's duos, trios or quads. I think the biggest team you could have was a trio, but I'm sure you could add a person to your team to make it four. I think originally you started out as a trio or solo. Now I'm not sure, like Arc Raiders, if you go in as a solo, you're more likely to put it into a solo lobby, or if you're in a team, whether you're going to be put into a team lobby. That's still to be confirmed. I'd like solos to be separate, but one thing I'd love them to keep is the proximity chat. And during the game of DMZ, the beta, if you were solo, people could add you to their team. You could join people's teams. You can invite people to your team. I think that was a healthy part of the game. It kept people playing. It kept a bit of fun to it. And it stops you from getting killed as a solo if you kind of say, look, I'll help you, do what you want to do. It'd be nice if they fixed some of the glitches. I remember on DMZ, the beta, you had a 3-plate vest, but you had like a helium one and an ammo one, and there was some different vested different things. And I remember in the middle of the map, the centre of Al Mazrah, down the hill, there was a locked room, but if you leant against the side of the building in the correct way, the vest would stick through the window and you could collect the vest. Now, me and my friend exploited this on many occasions until it got fixed. It didn't get fixed for a very long time. And you could say, well, you don't have to exploit it. You shouldn't have to, but it'd be nice to see a lovely polished game with no glitches, no problems. mean, Arc Raiders has its problems. It has people copying weapons and managing to glitch and just duplicate glitch, they call it, and make loads of weapons and sell loads. No game is free of its cheats, its problems, its glitches, its flaws. What makes the difference is the team behind the game. Are they working hard? Are they keeping on top of everything? Are they able to fix things quickly? Are they able to be transparent and communicate with the player base? That's what makes a game great. Embark have been doing very well. They've been getting a lot of praise as a team. They are taking a new direction, which happened quite recently, where they're only going to be doing for Arc Raiders 2 major updates a year, but they say they're going to be substantial updates, not small, and they're going to be really transparent with roadmaps about what they plan to do to keep the people waiting interested in to continue to play the game and look forward to what's to come. I think Embark are a fine example of a studio that really do their best. Be interesting to see what Call of Duty do, because Call of Duty do not have a very good track record, not in my opinion anyway, when it comes to cheats, when it comes to just maps and gameplay just becoming stale, lack of content. I've stopped playing Warzone because it's just repetitively boring now, and it can stay the same for such a long time and they add nothing to it. I really hope they show DMZ some love, because DMZ, the beta, is still going. It still has a fairly solid player base despite all this time that's gone by. There's some people that absolutely love it. I was one of those people, but like a lot of my friends, I moved on to other games. But I'm so excited that DMZ is coming back. I'm really looking forward to it. I really loved the beta. I played DMZ loads, so I'm one of these guys that's really excited. You know, I'm really hoping that they kind of do some of these things that I've spoken about, like loads of maps, you know, the AI being better, the weapons case being so exhilarating, and maybe making it harder, and some really good skins and rewards. You know, solid, excited missions like Room 403 key was brilliant. The extraction choppers being fun. You know, a mission that has to get you close to the enemy, like putting a tracker on that chopper to complete a mission. It just was so exhilarating and just so brilliant. You know, some more high reward loot and key areas to make it exciting. No lame missions, you know, none of this like find 80 gas masks and place them in a dump a bin in downtown. None of those repetitive missions. I don't mind doing some. I'd like the majority of the main missions to be full of content and excitement, and maybe some side quests could be those kind of lame ass missions, a bit more like, you know, finding stuff and dropping it off, and yeah, that'd be great. Weather cycles again would be brilliant, and then, you know, proximity chat, really important. Being able to join teams, important. I'd like solos to stick with solos and teams to stick with teams, but I think they'll mix it all up, because I think they did that in the beta. But yeah, those are some of the things I wanted to brush on. I honestly did not think, guys, that I was going to get back to a Call of Duty game. I've not played Call of Duty for a long time now. I've been playing Battlefield 6 and Battlefield RedSec, and I've been playing Arc Raiders. I've not even give Call of Duty a thought. I did download it to try the blackout theme mode, and I lasted a couple of weeks and I deleted it again. So yeah, Call of Duty have lost me when it comes to the Warzone side of things. I've really got bored with it. I've really got fed up with it. The only reason I'm coming back to this franchise is because of DMZ. If they weren't doing DMZ with this new Call of Duty, I wouldn't be getting it, because I wouldn't want to go back to Warzone. With this new Call of Duty, there's a new engine, it's a new movement. There's quite a lot of new stuff coming. There's no PS4 or Xbox Ones being invited. It's all going to be next-gen consoles, so that doesn't limit the game and its development. It being just new gen only is fantastic. I will be keeping an eye on what changes in the Battle Royale in Warzone, because I've not liked Omni movement. I've not liked this crazy new movement, and the grapple hook and crazy movement has been just not my cup of tea. The fact that the movement is going back to a more fluid, grounded, Modern Warfare 2019 kind of movement, I'm all in on that. Movement is key for me, and I've just not enjoyed it. So with this new movement and this new engine and all the new stuff that's coming, I am going to be keeping an eye on what they do with Battle Royale. But I'm really going to focus on DMZ more. I'd like to play the Battle Royale again if I can, if it's how I kind of remember it. Like when Warzone first released on the Modern Warfare 2019 engine, it was bang on, and over time it's just got worse and worse and horrendous, and I've left. But it'd be interesting to see. But no, guys, DMZ, I am actually pumped for this. It is going to be my next game purchase. My friend Tech Nation is always just trying to wind me up, going, "Oh well, you're going to be on your own because everyone's going to be on GTA 6." I promised my wife that I wasn't going to get GTA 6 because she doesn't like it as a game. That's fine. I love my wife, and I promised her that I wouldn't, so I'm not. I'm happy that my next game purchase is going to be Call of Duty and DMZ. I really want to get my teeth into DMZ, and I will continue to play Battlefield, Red Sec, and I will continue with Ark Raiders. I really enjoy Ark Raiders, and it is a superb game. So yeah, thanks for listening. If there's anything I've missed about DMZ the beta, there's probably loads of information. But I'm just trying to remember the things that stuck out for me. But yeah, if you're a DMZ fan, man, comment, subscribe, and like my video. And if you're going to be playing this new DMZ coming up, I was going to say DMZ the beta, but we've played that. This is just DMZ. If you're going to be on DMZ, I will maybe see you out there. But yeah, I'm really excited for June 7th. I think they said the first chunk of information is going to be coming for DMZ. They're going to start selling it, the hype. I think massively because Call of Duty were behind on sales with their last release. So they're really pushing for sales on this one. They want their money. And they're going to get my money because I'm definitely going to want to play DMZ. So yeah. Thanks for listening. If you're in DMZ, I will see you out there. Hopefully I don't shoot you. Hopefully you don't shoot me. But hey, I won't take it personal. It is what it is. See you in DMZ.